Hello, shalom, salam, and hola. Welcome back to the Hot Jewish Podcast. I'm Michael, aka Hot Jewish Energy. Whew, I needed a breath. You can find me. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and X at Hot Jewish Energy, at Hot Jewish Podcast, and at Michael T. Valdez with an S at the end. Welcome back to the show, everyone. There is no introduction for me today because this is an in-person interview, and I am so excited for my guest today. We've been friends for
Over a year.
yeah, and it's been very fun. We did our interview before almost beginning of last year, and then the war happened and shit went down. So we're back to redo things with more to talk about. So without further ado, I am happy to introduce my guest today. Today is not my day. I'm so happy to introduce my guest today, Eytan Kessler, aka the Sleepy Librarian.
Yep,
Welcome.
that's me, Sleepy Librarian. You can find me on Instagram at sleepy_librarian_, because I couldn't make it into one thing.
I'm so happy you're
Yeah.
back.
Happy to be back.
I know everyone didn't really see your interview from the last time, but we're pretty much going to give you the same stuff. You guys know I had to re-record like half of my interviews for this whole season because of what's going on. So you're here to give us the 411 on everything.
Everything.
Not everything, because we're going to keep some things private, but
So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and it was good, and all that jazz.
So I want to start off with everything pre-Sleepy Librarian. So growing up on Long Island, what life was like for you, how you became a librarian, because I think some people don't realize that Eytan is actually a librarian. It's not just a name, it's actually a whole thing.
Yeah,
so
it's what I do.
It is what you do on a daily basis, and it makes it very hard for us to get together at times. But
yes,
what was life like before pre-Sleepy Librarian?
I mean, that life pre-social media, because I predate social media.
You do.
Yeah, I am. I am.
In the comments, guess how old he is, but he'll tell you later. But guess now.
You're all gonna be wrong, unless you actually know me.
Yeah.
So born and raised in Suffolk County on Long Island. I am the youngest of 5. So I have 4 older siblings, oldest of whom is 12 years older than me. So there's a 12-year gap between me and the oldest, and a 5-year gap between me and the one closest to me in age. We grew up in a Jewish conservative house, and when I say conservative, I mean as far as Reform Conservative Orthodox, not political leaning. We always have to specify that.
Yeah, I almost got canceled for that, but it's okay.
So we grew up in a religious home. We did Shabbos every week. We kept kosher in and out of the house. We went to services regularly. My family was very prominent in our synagogue. Me and my 4 siblings, we all went to private Jewish day school, kindergarten through 8th grade. We all learned how to chant Torah. Our mom taught us how to chant Torah, because our mom...
What's the word for when the women can read the Torah in the...
so...
Is it Episcopalian?
No.
What
egalitarian.
Ease.
Egalitarian. So, yeah.
This is I promise I know what I'm talking about. I think my grandfather was Episcopalian or something. I have no idea.
Michael's just given me the opportunity to educate.
Yeah, you really are. Keep going.
So, my synagogue growing up became egalitarian mostly because of my mother. She was a mover and shaker. Still kind of is.
Trendsetter.
Yes, very. So she was arguing for women to be allowed to read from the Torah, from the Bima, in the main sanctuary. When that happened, people split away from our synagogue. It was a whole big thing. But yeah, I was going to our family synagogue since before I was born, probably. I was literally raised in that synagogue. By the time of my bar mitzvah, I was reading every Shabbos for the Torah service. I would read various Megillot, including Esther, Shir Shirim, Kohelet, Esther. I think the only one I didn't read for, oh no, I did read Eicha at times. But Eicha trip is weird. I'd read for the high holidays. I'd also lead services occasionally at my synagogue when our chazan was away. I was also president of my USY chapter my senior year. I was heavily, heavily involved in my synagogue and in Jewish life.
I'm assuming it when you left and you went to college too, you kept that.
Well, so I went to a local school, so I actually commuted from home. So even while I was in college, I'd still go to the synagogue that I was raised in. Towards my junior and senior year of college, I would spend some
you were in a
Shabbatot.
you were in a frat, right?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Okay.
Yeah. So by my junior and senior year, sometimes I'd spend Shabbos on campus, and would do that. Mainly that was because like I grew up being Shomer Shabbos, so I didn't drive to synagogue. I didn't drive on Shabbat. I didn't use electricity on Shabbat. So if I was going to be on campus for Shabbat, I had to stay on campus for Shabbat. Because I also was involved in Hillel, and yes, I was also in a Jewish fraternity,
which was such a shock because I have not. I mean, maybe it's a. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. Are there a lot? Have you noticed there being a lot of queer people in frats?
So here's the shocker. I didn't realize I was gay until after college. I know.
It was like within you, like it was.
It had to get dragged out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went through all of college not realizing I was gay.
You had a girlfriend
in high school. That was from USY, and there was a distance thing, and it lasted for a few months. Yeah, that was a portion of my life that I sometimes think like, oh yeah, that happened.
I learned about that on our Miami trip. That was, we learned a lot about each other on that trip.
Well, I mean, we were together for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
5 days.
And we were in a queen bed. Well, not even a queen bed, a full bed.
Also, I was thinking about that. Like, maybe it was a queen bed and it just felt small. Like,
this is a queen bed. This is a queen bed.
And it was smaller than that?
It was. It had to be.
Maybe a little bit. I don't think it was. I feel like it was a few inches. It's like when a guy says that he's like 7 inches, but he's really 5. Oh.
T.
Yeah.
T.
You know the type.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't until after college. Well, see, when I was in college, a certain superstorm happened. We called her Sandy. And a lot of things happened during Sandy. And I ended up making out with a guy during Sandy. That was the first time I made out with a guy. And
was it a random guy?
No. And that that sent me spiraling for a few years.
Something emulated out of you.
Yeah. So after college, I spent some time in Israel. And while I was in Israel, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, no, I'm definitely gay. So, the first few people I was coming out to, it was all done via, what was the video chat that we used back then?
iChat?
No.
Uvu?
No, the other one.
Skype? I forgot about
Skype. Yeah, remember Skype? Like, we don't even think about Skype anymore because we just use Zoom now.
You use Zoom or FaceTime?
I'm an Android user.
You can still use FaceTime.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
I know, but
it's not ideal, but it's a thing.
It is a thing. I've done it before. But yeah, so like the first few times I was coming out to people, like I was in Israel, they were in the United States, so like a lot of coming out to people over Skype or just regular phone call.
That must have been interesting.
Yeah, that was fun times.
So what was it like when you came back to the States?
tricky because like I told all my siblings, but I didn't tell my parents yet.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like I didn't have a job right away, so I was just kind of like being lazy. But then I also had to get ready for my sibling's wedding. Eventually, I came out to my parents.
How old were you when this was happening?
22. Yeah, I was 22 when I came out. Oh wow, I've been out for a decade.
That I've seen later.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, yes, there are plenty of people that have come out later. I'm glad I came out when I did. Do I wish I came out earlier? Yeah, but
I think we all do.
it's here we are now anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we're here, we're queer, we're thriving, we're doing our thing now, making up for lost time.
Trying to.
I know you've been trying to. That's for the other podcast.
Yes.
Which I don't know if it's happening yet, but keep going.
Yes. I'll probably make a guest appearance on that as well.
You are already booked.
Plenty of tea on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was coming out over the course of those 10 years between then and now, I decided to become less religious.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not Shomer Shabbos anymore. I'm not Shomer Kashrut except for meat.
The wink.
Yes, the wink. And I kind of have some more balance right now, I think. I am very thankful that I grew up religious. I'm thankful that I know the difference between my Kiddush and my Kaddish. I'm thankful that if I needed to, I could still lane from a Torah or lead services. I'm thankful to have all that knowledge and history within me.
And that you get to decide what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I wish more queer people did. This is my own opinion. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I always think that once Jews who are queer start being more themselves and sharing that part of their lives with other people and immersing themselves more into the community, whatever observance, it's either all or nothing.
No, you can find balance with
That's
that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I wish more people realize that.
There is definitely a way to find balance. And like, look, there are religious queer Jews, there are secular queer Jews, and you can find plenty that are in the middle.
The more observant, more orthodox, that's definitely a newer thing, right?
I mean, it's newer in the sense that they're
more
able to be more open about it.
That's what I mean.
Homophobia within Judaism still exists, especially in the more observant circles. Like, I spent time studying at a yeshiva before I came out, and one of the rabbis gave a whole lecture about reprogramming, and I've kind of blocked that one out. But you also have to understand that this specific yeshiva in Jerusalem was for Baal Teshuvas, people who return to becoming religious. People who were not religious and then become religious, they call them Baal Teshuvas.
Like born again Christianity, but for Jews.
Kinda. Never thought of it like that, but yeah.
I'm gonna use that analogy, or I shouldn't. Never mind. I don't know. Maybe not. That we don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
We welcome all of. Today's not my day. We welcome all levels of observance on this platform. Come as you are.
Please do.
Please do.
But yeah, I am thankful to have that upbringing. I'm thankful to have the choice to continue that. And I'm thankful to just have the knowledge because it's good things.
It doesn't hurt you.
No.
So, what made you want to become a librarian? With the going through all of this, and what made you want to choose that career path?
So I kind of fell into it. First and foremost, when I was in college, I studied linguistics. And I knew that if I wanted to pursue anything further with linguistics, I'd have to go back to school. Um, but after Israel, I spent a year working for Hillel at the college I went to. But then after that, that was only an interim position. I wasn't really sure what to do. So I got a job at a local college library, not the college I went to, a different college. Um, and I was just working in like the computer lab, like making sure the students check in and out. And then eventually I got transferred over to the circulation desk, helping students check out reserved textbooks and all that. That was like not like part time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get another job and wound up in a clothing store working retail. And if you've worked retail, you know that that is incredibly soul crushing. One of my friends said working retail is a humbling experience, and it just made me realize that my deep, deep dislike for the general public runs much deeper. So I didn't want to keep working retail for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed working in a library. And actually, that wasn't my first time working in a library either. I completely missed a part. I actually interned at a small library in Israel for a month.
Oh, wow.
It was the library for the visually impaired and homebound, based in Jerusalem. They would send large print books and books on cassette tapes and some CDs all over Israel to people who requested them. So I interned there. So that was my first taste working in any kind of library. But then, yeah, a couple years after I got back from Israel, I was working at a college library and retail. And like I said, I didn't want to work retail forever, but I liked working at the library. So I applied for library school. And after 1 year of library school, I managed to get a part time job as a librarian trainee, because you're a librarian trainee if you're still in school.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to quit my retail job, thank God. Um, and yeah, and then I was able to bust out library school within 2 years.
Wow.
So that was a lot of work because because I did summer classes, and there was one semester I did like 3 or 4 classes. Like 3 were in person, one might have been online, I forget. And then my last semester of library school was just my research paper, which was a 5-chapter, 80-ish page research paper on security in public libraries.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'd say I graduated with my master's in library science in 2018.
Mm-hmm. So you've been a full-fledged librarian for 6 years almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with getting that degree and you now being able to be a full librarian, what made you want to start the page online? When did that start exactly?
So I've had that Instagram account for a long time. I think I've had it since like, I don't know, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you can go back and there are like some really terrible pictures and posts on there.
I think
Like
I've seen some of that.
like I really got to go back and like comb through those, because those are just awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like terrible pictures of food, terribly lit pictures of me with books. But yeah, I started that account just as a way to like, because like everyone had Instagram. So, and then over the course of the time I had that account, I was getting more and more into the Bookstagram community, finding friends, sharing books. So it just kind of grew from there.
Mm-hmm.
Once I found that, like, oh, there's a portion of the social media company page thing that caters specifically to books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's cool, because while I am a librarian, being a reader is a totally different thing. There are librarians who read, and then there are librarians who don't read, and both are still librarians. You're not a librarian because you read. So,
but you may be a reader because you're a librarian.
Depends on the kind of librarian. But that goes into, I can talk more about librarianship in a little bit. But yeah, so it just grew from there as far as what kind of content I was putting out.
What made you want to implement the Jewish parts of yourself into that account? Did it come naturally, or did it come out of feeling that was missing?
A little bit of both. Parts of it came naturally because sometimes I would be reading a Jewish book. Not a book, not like a religious book, not like I wasn't reading the Talmud and posting about
but
that.
Like maybe a story that's about Jewish people, or something by a Jewish author.
Exactly. So that's part of it, but also it also became out of necessity because there weren't as many loud Jewish voices in Bookstagram world.
Do you feel like that opened a lot of doors in a sense of meeting new people and meeting authors that aligned more with how you identify?
Yeah, it definitely helped me find other Jewish authors. It helped me find other Jewish bookstagrammers. And it helped me connect more with authors, with the Jewish authors. It helped me connect more with Jewish characters. And it also just became even more personal to me because I was talking about, some of my lived experiences as a Jewish person.
I remember, this is one thing that I remember you talking about, how A Boy in the Striped Pajamas is not the best Holocaust book to read.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to hear why, and what would your recommendation be for a better book to educate people on that?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, or as some of us in the Bookstagram community call it, The Pajama Book, by John Boyne. I am going to name drop him because he knows what he did. So why is it not a good resource? Well, first off, if the Auschwitz Museum calls out a book, you should probably listen to the Auschwitz Museum because they have called out this book. It infantilizes. It really downplays parts of the Holocaust, and the main character is the son of a prominent Nazi official. Any child of a Nazi official would have been in the Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, it's an innocent child, and he becomes friends with someone on the other side of the barbed wire fence. Like, that wouldn't happen.
It's unrealistic.
It's super unrealistic, and it just downplays the Holocaust so much. And it's not the only book that does that. There are plenty of other Holocaust books that romanticize aspects of the Holocaust.
But this is the one that they're like, I read that in school.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue, the fact that it's still on reading lists. Actually, as a matter of fact, we were on our flight back from Miami.
You were talking with a librarian.
No, she wasn't a librarian. She was a teacher, but she was friends with the school librarian.
Yes, we were.
And she's like, yeah, that librarian was making sure that The Boy in the Striped Pajamas was no longer on reading lists.
Yeah.
So yeah, and more often than not, these kinds of books are written by non-Jews, and it's almost like they're written for non-Jews. So like that's where the big issue comes from. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, though, it's so annoying because it's so prominent. A movie was made, a sequel was written.
They made a full dance show out of it, like a ballet. I remember, I heard about it.
I forgot about that.
Like a whole ass ballet.
So it's just been, so it's a lot with that book. But there are so many good books to read instead.
Diary of Anne Frank, would you recommend?
I would recommend that, either the written book or the graphic novel adaptation.
Oh, wow. There's a graphic novel?
There is a graphic novel adaptation.
I'm going to pick that up.
Definitely do it.
Ooh.
And first and foremost, I don't like going to fiction books for Holocaust. I don't like historical fiction for the Holocaust. I'd much rather read nonfiction, whether it's biography from a Holocaust survivor or something written by a Holocaust historian or a grandchild of a Holocaust survivor. But there are also really good historical fiction Holocaust books written by Jews as well. Some books that I read within the past year, a young adult adaptation of The Boy Who Followed His Father into Auschwitz. So that's a book that came out a couple years ago, but this past year, a young adult adaptation of that came out.
And it's been getting traction.
I mean, somewhat. I listened to the audiobook of that, and it was done incredibly well. And what's great was the fact that while it's a young adult adaptation, so some of the things in this adaptation were changed from the original because time had passed since the original book came out. The author was able to do more research, so there's actually new things in the young adult adaptation as opposed to the old one.
Would you say it's haven't than the older one?
Well, I actually haven't read the original. I had to read the young adult edition for a reason. But it was done really well. It's about a man who was taken to Auschwitz and his son ended up following him to Auschwitz, as the title suggests, and how the son is actually able to escape Auschwitz, which is almost unheard of.
Wow.
So that's one book that I would recommend. A good historical fiction book that I read this year was The Blood Years, which the characters in The Blood Years actually don't go to a concentration or death camp. They stay within a ghetto. So it was very interesting to read that particular aspect of it. It's more in terms, for that one, it is technically historical fiction based on a real person. So a lot of the aspects in the book are taken from the author's grandmother's life. But certain parts of it were fictionalized. So that is important to remember. There's a really great historical fiction book that I read this year as well, Wrath Becomes Her, and it's about a Nazi punching golem. So it's historical fiction because it's about a golem. If you don't know what a golem is, it's a creature made out of mud, inscribed with God's name.
Wow.
And usually golems are created to defend Jews. The original story of the golem comes from Prague. And more often than not, the golem story ends not good. But this book in particular, Wrath Becomes Her, was about a golem created during the Holocaust that was hunting down Nazis.
So would you say that that's a better use of fiction in the sense of talking about the Holocaust than other books?
I like that a lot better because it talks more about Jewish resistance, because it does include actual Jewish resistance forces during that time period. Because when we look at the Holocaust, especially from groups of people that were not affected by the Holocaust, it usually comes from the saviors of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So think more in terms of International Holocaust Remembrance Day, which coincides with the liberation of Auschwitz, versus Yom HaShoah, which correlates more to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. So if I'm going to read a Holocaust book, I either want it to be a book written by a Holocaust survivor, Holocaust historian, or a descendant of a Holocaust survivor, like an actual account, or something that talks more about Jewish resistance during the Holocaust, because people say that Jews were sheep led to the slaughter, but that wasn't the case. No. We need more Nazi punching books.
So you've mentioned Jewish resistance a lot, and actually kind of goes into what I want to talk about next, because there's a lot of debate over whether a certain country rightfully fighting back, in my opinion, is or the other side actually it being resistance with what happens. So how did things kind of shift? Because you talked about how you got into the book community on Instagram and what your experience has been like. What would you say pre-war and post-war, your experience now online with the war in Israel and Gaza?
So before October 7th, because like at this point we have a before October 7th and an after October 7th. I think like within the week before October 7th, I broke like 7,800 followers. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'll get to 8,000 before the end of the year. Like that was like a thought in my head before October 7th. And also have to understand, I did find a really great Jewish community on Bookstagram. I have a lot of Jewish Bookstagram friends, was friendly with a lot of Jewish authors. I was part of a yearly Jewish Bookstagram tour. And like already in October, even though we were still in the middle of like Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, and Simchat Torah, I was like thinking like, oh, are we going to do that again this year? Because I think it was going to be our third year. And then October 7th happened.
Mm-hmm.
Day after October 7th, I posted a picture of me at the Kotel from this past summer. And the only thing the caption had was the prayer Oseh Shalom B'Mrumav. That's all the caption had. That was it. Nothing else. And that's when my follower count started to drop. And then that week, you and I went to a rally in the city.
And we posted a little picture, and can we say it kind of went viral?
It kind of went viral, yeah, because it did get a ton of likes and a ton of comments.
It got so much spam.
Yeah, it got so much spam.
And then
we don't eat spam.
We don't eat spam, and we don't need spam.
This is true.
Jews. So when we posted that picture, it's still up on my page. You'll have to scroll down a little bit, or on Eytan's page, it's going to be a lot more current. But posted the picture, we're both holding Israeli flags, and that was probably the most you'd seen on your page. Like hate-wise.
Hate-wise, yes.
That's what I mean, hate-wise.
Hate-wise, that was probably the most I'd seen.
Because I'm used to that.
Yeah.
I'm used to that, and then I kind of brought you into my shitstorm a little bit.
Yeah, it's what we do. So then after that, my follower count started to drop more. And the Bookstagram space, I posted a reel, I think, was it before that or after that?
It was after that. Saying you're not sure if if you want to be a part of this anymore.
Yeah. So I posted a reel shortly after, like a week after October 7th, because even the day after October 7th, I saw one of my Bookstagram friends, quote unquote, just posting to the stories, fuck Israel. And I'm like, great.
Okay.
That's great. Like people literally on October 8th are already...
Even before Israel did anything.
Yeah.
Literally, before they did anything, people had shit to say.
Yeah. I had some friends, again, quote-unquote friends, some reach out to me saying like, oh, are you doing okay? I'm like, yeah, no. Mm-hmm. But then already within a week seeing some of the things people were posting, whether it was a grid post or a story post, seeing some of the things that authors were saying or not saying, I was completely discouraged with the Bookstagram community. And I know I was not the only Jewish Bookstagrammer feeling this way, because I was talking to a group of friends and they were all feeling the same way. So I didn't take an Instagram break, but I was trying to limit my Instagram time, and I was just not posting.
Yeah, I remember that. We were still talking, but
yeah,
you weren't posting.
Yeah, no, I was still chatting with people online.
I was convinced you weren't going to come back after that. I mean, part of me was hoping he would, because if you haven't seen his stuff, so good, especially if you like spicy stuff. He gets into spicy stuff, but I was worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like one of my in real life friends that like, yeah, I saw your video and I almost started crying because of that. I'm like, yeah, and it
Yeah.
sucked. And it still sucks. Not much has changed.
But what motivated you to come back? What motivated you to tap into your Judaism more, tap into your Israel advocacy more? Because you're very much not holding back now.
Because it's necessary.
And you were doing it before too.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
like,
not like anything was different.
Like, my stance on Israel, like, is not unknown. I was literally in Israel, posting while in Israel this past summer. Like, if people didn't know that I'm a Zionist Jew already, then like,
yeah.
But yeah, I knew it was necessary. I knew I needed to put myself out there. I knew that it was needed, and I've definitely lost Bookstagram friends over this. People have blocked me. I've unfollowed people, removed them as followers.
How one of the Bookstagrammers that you were, I think you had somewhat of a relationship with started coming for me too. Once they realized that we were friends, they started coming for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? Why are you this aggressive?
Seriously.
So people are bad shit crazy.
Oh no! Like some of the things that I've seen people post and share, like just the amount of misinformation. And you know, I'm gonna talk about our queen. If people want to talk about Israel, they need to read Roots first. Like Roots Medals is like top tier. Go to.
Everyone can tell we love Roots on this podcast because you're not the only person that has mentioned Roots. We love you, Roots. Hi, Debbie.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, she's great.
She is. And I give her so much credit because of the amount of work that she's been putting in the past 4 months.
She's been working overtime.
Yeah, like
girl. And she's queer.
Yes.
And she's Latina.
Yes.
Latino Jews exist. But yeah, keep going.
But like there were some Bookstagrammers being like, oh, I don't know anything about Israel or Palestine or what's going on, but I've been reading for the past 2 weeks, so now I'm actually like, no, 2 weeks of reading is nothing compared to some of the work that other people put in.
They're literally people who major in this in college, in Middle Eastern geopolitics.
So like, just some of the shit that Bookstagrammers have been sharing, it's been so dumb. But there's worse. There is so much worse, because now there's also the pick-me Jews. And the pick-me Jewish Bookstagrammers, the pick-me authors, and it's been so disheartening. There are some authors that I loved their books, but now I can never pick up their books again. Because they've just been...
Yeah.
And...
I want to name 2 of them, but I really don't. Should I? Should I just name it? For those of you that love Heartstoppers, yeah, they go by they.
I think they, but
she,
I always default to they. Just
because. They, the author of Heartstoppers, that, and then Love Simon too, right? Simon versus the Homo sapiens, for people who know the book but love Simon the movie, the person who wrote the book. Yeah.
That one hurt.
Yeah.
And I've met that author. She knows who I am. I loved her last book that came out in 2023. I wanted to, like, it would have been in my top 10 books of the year because it really spoke to me. It was such a great book.
Yeah.
And I talked to other Jewish Bookstagrammers. They're like, yeah, I'm unloading all these books now.
This reminds me of when the whole J.K. Rowling thing happened and the trans community they felt disowned completely.
Yeah. And Yeah, and that also caused a huge... Because there would be prominent bookstagrammers that still had like their Hogwarts house in their bio, or that had a Harry Potter related handle, and they get called out, and eventually they would change or take it out, and like...
You have to separate when it gets to the point of where Harry Potter has gotten, you have to separate the artist from the art. It's tough, but you have to. In that case, in that specific case.
Yeah.
Can't say for everything.
No.
We can't say for Mr. Mustache's art before he had an issue with us. Yeah, but J.K. Rowling, it's like a whole thing now. It's like more than just her now.
Yeah. This feels so different because some authors online have been shifting to just blatant anti-Semitism or hiding their anti-Semitism with anti-Zionism. And it makes it so hard for me to buy books now because I was saying like, oh, has this author said anything? Does this author... Do I disagree with this author? Like, I was just like...
It's gotten hard.
It has. And again, I talked to other Jewish bookstagrammers about this. We all get it. We're all going through this. And just the way other bookstagrammers are reacting to it, or how non-Jewish bookstagrammers are reacting to Zionist Jewish authors, it's been so disgusting.
Positive. I want to ask you, so with all of this said, we obviously know that you gotta look out for who you're supporting. It's up to you. You can read whatever you want to read. Just know what those views are, and if you don't feel comfortable reading it because they have different views from you, that's okay. But it's up to the person. But what would you say, now that we're going to get into something that I think everybody's going to want to know, who are some Jewish and Israeli and Zionist, because Zionist can be Jewish or non-Jewish, who are Jewish, Israeli, and Zionist authors that people should be supporting, that you think are great?
Okay. First and foremost, one that comes to mind is Deke Moulton. They are writing Jewish middle grade books. Their debut came out this past year called Don't Want to Be Your Monster, which was an honor book for the Sidney Taylor Book Award, which is an award for Jewish books, picture books, middle grade books, and young adult books. So this was an honor book. They have been amazing on Instagram, posting very supportive things. They have a second book coming out this summer. Benji Zelb is a werewolf. So they're really going into like the vampire werewolf thing, but with a Jewish mix in it.
I like that. M.A. Wardell.
M.A. Wardell, love him, love his books, and he has his...
He's a friend of ours.
Yes, he is a friend of ours.
He hasn't been on the podcast yet, but hi, Matthew.
Hi. He has a third book coming out this year, and his books are... Well, the series is Teachers in Love. The first book is Teacher of the Year. The second book is Mistletoe and Mishigas.
And then he has... I forget the next one that's coming out.
Napkins... I'm blanking on it now.
I'm blanking on the name, but it is coming out in June?
I think so, yeah.
June, and then he has Husband of the Year, the sequel to Teacher of the Year, coming out next year or the year after?
I think next year.
Yeah. And
so,
I read Teacher of the Year. I love Teacher of the Year. It's a very great book.
And it's spicy.
It is, so spicy. I love it.
So I haven't actually been doing as much reading this past... within 2024,
You've been on Cloud Atlas for how long?
We're not going to talk about that. But I don't want to say I'm in a reading slump right now. It's just more reading fatigue, I want to say, because I'm just tired of reading. But because of certain Jewish bookstagrammers, I have been listening to the graphic audio versions of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, who is Jewish and a Zionist.
A lot of people have been reading that.
Yes, and they are fantastic. It's high fantasy, well, romantasy, I guess. And it's incredibly spicy. Chapter 54 of A Court of Mist and Fury, if you know, you know.
Oh my gosh.
So I just recently finished the current final book. I believe there's supposed to be more. I finished The Court of Silver Flame, and now I don't know what to do with myself. And I mentioned that these are graphic audios. So it's audiobooks with a full cast plus background music. So it's literally like their tagline is a movie in your head, and it's literally like a movie in your head because of the way it's done.
So you think that would be perfect for someone who may have a hard time sitting down and reading a book like me?
Definitely. They are the graphic audios are available on Libby, which you can use with your library card, or Hoopla.
Are they free?
They are free on Libby and Hoopla, so get your library card. And what's great about these books, if you know a lot of Jewish stuff, you'll see Jewish things within these books. And again, this is high fantasy, again, romantasy, I guess, is the newer name for it. But there are a lot of Jewish aspects in it that Sarah J. Maas included, which is like, it's fun Easter eggs. And yes, fae sex. There's a lot of fae having sex, and it's...
What's fae?
Like fairies.
Fairies, okay.
Yeah, fae. So that was also just fantastic.
If someone is having a tough time being online, they have similar experience of what you went through post-war, just with anything in general. I'm like thinking like broad scope, like if you're having a tough time mental health wise, or there's a lot going on in your life, but what would your advice be to someone who may be having a tough time online? And what would you say what would your advice be?
If you're having a tough time online, sometimes you need to take that step back. Doom scrolling can be a terrible, terrible thing. It is important to recognize where stress is coming from online spaces. So if you being online is causing you stress, then you need to step away. If you're in online spaces and you're starting to feel that your circle is closing, like that you're interacting with less and less people, keep the people that you interact with. Find a group, whether it's a group chat or just a couple of people that you chat with daily or weekly. Keep those, because those can really help. I'm in a couple group chats right now, and it definitely helps, since I don't personally have that many people in real life to interact with. Go outside, go for a walk. I know it's still winter right now as of recording.
Pick up a book.
And pick up a book.
Or an audiobook. You said that audiobook and even
graphic novels and manga. Like, okay, so first and foremost, manga, graphic novels, and audiobooks count as reading.
And it's an easy way to get into reading too.
And those are easy ways to get into reading or to get back into reading. Some audiobooks have fantastic narrators, or going with a full cast audiobook. Graphic novels, it's less words per page, and plus there's images, and so that can just kind of help get you going. And if you ever need recommendations, definitely check out my page, sleepy_librarian_, because I do post a lot about books.
Are your DMs open? To an extent.
To an extent. I think that, I know I feel this way, and I'm sure other Jewish content creators feel this way, is that you kind of have to be a little bit more selective now of who you interact with.
I'll make it easier. If you guys are interested in getting in touch with Eytan and he hasn't responded to you because he may be needing some space, which everyone needs, let me know and I will text him and let him know to reach out to you and that you're a normal person.
Yes, Michael will be my acting secretary.
Yeah, I'm the bitch. But that I think I'm really happy that you came back.
Me too.
And I'm glad that we got to talk about more so what you've been through, how you got to where you are, which is most of my guests talk about, but you're the first librarian. You're the first and only librarian that's been on this podcast so far. But I
like to think I'm special. I mean, how many gay Jewish librarians?
How many sleepy librarians?
Well, a lot of librarians are sleepy. That kind of comes with the
but
job.
Not sleepy, gay, shirtless.
Yeah, okay, there probably isn't that many.
You're pretty original.
I am. Plus, I know how to throw hands.
You really do. You really do. He was protecting me in Miami.
I was.
You were. Thank you for coming on again and redoing your interview, because it needed to happen. I wanted everyone to hear your journey again. Well, they haven't heard it, but hear it re-recorded again, and also how this war has impacted you, because I think it's impacted everyone differently, some unfortunately worse than others. And I really appreciate you being here and for being my friend.
Yes. Thank you, Michael, for having me on again, or to redo our episode.
Where can everyone find you? You already said, but tell everyone again.
So my handle is sleepy_librarian_. So you can find me there on Instagram. That's really my only social media.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do need book recommendations, definitely check out my page, because I do post a lot about books.
You do. And there are some very, very nice photos. So if you want a little bit of a thirst trap and a book recommendation, go to him. That does it. Thank you guys so much for being here and for listening and for watching. If you are, you can find me at Hot Jewish Energy, at Hot Jewish Podcast, and at Michael T. Valdez with an S at the end. Thank you again for being here. Thank you, Eytan, for being here as well.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you everyone who was listening and or watching.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. I'm Yisrael Chai. Support your local libraries and books and everything. Thank you for watching. This is Hot Jewish Energy. If you like this episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share your favorite moment in the comments. If you're on any of the podcasting platforms, give us a 5-star rating and let us know your favorite part of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.